Hello guys, for today's topic we'll be talking about medieval art. So what is medieval art? To some, the millennium from 400 to 1480 is considered the Dark Ages, where the art in this period were depicted to be grotesque or brutal scenes, while others were focused on formalized religion. The history of medieval art is expansive and covers a wide range of centuries and genres. Medieval art was also prominent in European regions, and some of the most precious examples of art forms from the Middle Ages can be found in churches, cathedrals, and other religious doctrines. As the millennium passed, more and more Christian and Catholic art appeared. The period centered around elaborate churches and artwork to adore this architecture. It also saw the rise of Romanesque styles of art and architecture. The characteristics of medieval art are dark imagery, biblical subjects, classical mythology, Gothic architecture, Romanesque, Celtic art, and Carolingian Renaissance. And here are the leading contributors at this period and time. Up next, we have the influential works. We have the Crucifix, the Lamentation of Christ. We have the very famous Durham Cathedral. And lastly, we have the Carthes Cathedral. Let us now move on to early to high Renaissance. This movement covers the period from 1400 through 11,500. The Renaissance literally means rebirth and describes the resurgence of curiosity in the artistic achievements of Greece and Rome. Most known paintings emerged from this period. In addition, many of the most notable art created during this period was Italian. As you can see at the side, we have here David, an artwork created by Botticelli. When the High Renaissance took over the next century, the works of Da Vinci, Michelangelo, and Raphael emerged. As you can see here at the side, we have here is the Mona Lisa, the very famous Mona Lisa created by Leonardo da Vinci. In this period, we have the leading contributors. We have here is Brunelleschi, who was made known famous for creating the dome for the Cathedral of Florence. We have here Donatello, the very famous Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, and Raphael. Early to high Renaissance, the characteristic seen in this period is the rebirth of classical culture. We have here the influential works, which is the Gilberti's Door, Cathedral of Santa Monica di Fiore, David, Primavera, and Mona Lisa. And for our last topic, we have the Venetian to Northern Renaissance. The Northern Renaissance art began when Venetian artists were commissioned by the King of France to send their art to the great palace he was building. From France, Renaissance ideas spread through other countries and cities, France itself, and through the lands of the Holy Roman Empire. In years 1430s to 1550s, a period of Northern Renaissance was famous due to the advanced techniques in oil painting, realistic, vivid altarpiece art, wooden panel paintings, woodcuts, and printmaking. For some key highlights, did you know that German's main contribution to this period was in printmaking, most notable for the Gutenberg Bible? Another is that the previous style of religious painting had mainly placed God in the heavens or were in singular figures. Leonardo da Vinci was one of the Venetian artists commissioned by the king. And for the top works of this period, we have the Arnolfini Wedding, Madonna and Chancellor Rollin, Study of a Hare, The Wedding Dance, and The Garden of Earthly Delights. For the leading contributors of this era, we have the following. As for my insights on this lecture, medieval art is the reflection of the sweeping popularity of Christianity, since many of their most famous and most precious artworks can be found in churches, cathedrals, and other religious doctrines. In addition, this period is known to be using biblical subjects. My favorite period would be the Renaissance, since this period is filled with a heavy arsenal of artists that till this very day we acknowledge, one of which is my favorite, Leonardo da Vinci. While the Venetian to Northern Renaissance for me build a great foundation to many artists and skilled artisans that we see in the modern day. And here are the references. That will be all for my discussion. I am John Paul Macarig and thank you for listening.